Hey everyone, I'm Crystal Jigrup, and this is Empowered by Women. In August of 2021, I launched Book of Bijou, which is a line of chic and innovative jewelry storage. And in January of 2022, we expanded into what you now see as the Empowered by Women platform. I really wanted to create a centralized space where we can really put emphasis on our mission of women empowerment and community over competition. It really truly does fill my cup to be surrounded by so many of you inspiring women, and the energy that you bring to me and our platform on a daily basis is unmatched. You really all do fuel me with so much motivation to continue doing what I'm doing, and for that, I thank you. Before we jump into the episode, please be sure to follow or subscribe to us wherever you are listening, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on your favorite podcast platform. And also don't forget to share your favorite episodes with your fellow female founders so that we can continue growing our platform and furthering our mission. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this next interview with another incredible woman in entrepreneurship that I know you guys are going to absolutely love. Today, we have the beautiful Alex Castro. She is pioneering mindfulness as a coach dedicated to integrating mindfulness and personal growth within the LGBTQIA plus community. She founded LGBTQ Mindfulness, which you can see in her background, a transformative group promoting mindful living and inclusivity. She holds comprehensive certifications in meditation, mindfulness from the path, yoga instruction from Yoga Flow in San Francisco, and a 300-hour yoga teacher training in Rishikesh, India. Not sure if I'm saying that right, hopefully. But her diverse expertise extends to organizing international LGBTQ mindfulness retreats and leading sound baths certified by the Sound Institute of Soul Yoga. As a somatic practitioner, she supports certified by the Embody Lab. She supports holistic wellness through various modalities. I love so much about what you do, Alex. But first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Crystal. I am also a big advocate of your work, and I'm so happy to be here with you to just have this space to talk about all the
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yes, we are going to talk about so many amazing things. I am so excited to dive into your story. So I know I just gave you a little intro, but why don't you give us the nitty-gritty of it? Why don't you go ahead and take us back a little bit? Tell us more about your background and how that led you to what you're doing today.
Absolutely. So I am originally from Florida. I lived in Florida for 29 years. And in Florida, I lived my straight life. And then once I left, I was like, okay, this is my chance to really come out of the closet, truly step into my authenticity of who I am and who I want to showcase to the world. And I wanted to show my authentic me. So I moved to the West Coast. I went to Seattle, and to my surprise and to my benefit, it was very gay because um the East Coast, Florida is gay, but like more for men. And the West Coast, it was more like for like there's more women that are gay that are out, which was really cool. But then one thing I started noticing was that like in order for me to create connections and make friends, I had to go to bars, I had to drink. And in the LGBTQA plus community, it's very heavy on drugs and drinking and partying. And I was like, okay, what about if I don't want to do all that stuff? Like, where do I find my community? Where do I find my people? So I was like, I can either continue to complain about this or I can actually make a change. And when I moved to San Francisco, I was like, okay, this is it. Like, there's so much community here. This is the place where I'm going to start creating events around mindfulness, connection, and spaces where we don't need to drink in order to make friends. We can have fun, we can transform together, and then that led to international retreats, and it led to 45-day challenges, meditation courses, and it just snowballed into this beautiful, transformative personal growth spaces that now I'm leading.
I love that so much. And I kind of resonate with your story as you are kind of in this space of how do I build this community, right? A community that doesn't have to revolve around those things, the drugs and the alcohol. And you recognize that wow, I'm not the only one that's looking for this, because now you've built this amazing community around you. And it was the same for me. When I started Empowered by Women, I was like, I want to have a supportive community of women that are doing the same things that I'm doing. And I quickly realized there are so many other people that are looking for that same community. So it's just this natural progression, right? And now you're doing so many beautiful things and you're hosting events and international retreats. I can't even, all of the things that I've done have been local, so I can't even imagine the work that goes into that. But tell us, through all of this growth that you've been experiencing, well, first of all, when did you launch?
So technically it was 3 years ago, but officially LLC last year.
Okay, amazing. Well, congrats on that for making it official.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
over this 3 years, there's been a lot of growth that you've been experiencing. So what have been like your biggest hurdles that you've seen and the obstacles that you faced in growing this community and putting out all of these events that you're doing?
The first one was when you start off because nobody knows you well enough. And all these doubts come running into your head of like, where am I going to find the people? How are they going to find me? If I'm not very well known, what am I going to do to fill the space? Because obviously people want to go to events that it's not one or two people, it's, 15, 20, 30 people because people want to network, they want to get together. So that was one of my biggest obstacles starting off. And how did I overcome that obstacle? Literally finding any way possible to market my event. If that meant walking around Castro in San Francisco and leaving a flyer in every single restaurant, I I did that. I was willing to do that. Even this is a really cool story. Even one of those times when I was handing out flyers, it was like these three gay women walking past the street. And I was like, this is my customer. Like, and I am my brand because each business owner, you are your brand. So I approached them and I was like, hey, this is my business card. I do mindfulness events for the queer community. Turns out one of them is now going on my retreat to Colombia. So even in just moments like that, like people walking on the street and you're like, this is my customer, you just approach them. And nowadays also Instagram is a really great tool. They also have ads. So, you have to expose yourself in every avenue that you can when you're starting off.
Mhm.
Once you start building that, once you start building your customer sphere, it's different. You don't have to go and put flyers on restaurants anymore.
So when you started, you seem like that might have been something that you were already comfortable doing, right? Going out, handing out these flyers, talking to store owners. Was there ever a part of you that was like afraid of doing that or kind of hesitant to like put yourself out there?
Absolutely. Especially that ingrained in us as humans, we're so afraid of rejection. And there is that fear that came up in me. Oh my God, what about if I approach this person and they reject me or they tell me I'm not gay or they get offended because they're not gay? And it's a choice that you have to make. And after every rejection, it's like reframing rejection, like it's redirection. It has nothing to do with me or my value or who I am. And if someone says no, I don't want to go to your events, okay, it's a closer yes. Every no takes you closer to your yes. So yes, there was definitely fear that came up, but it's a choice. Am I going to let fear overrule me, or am I going to in Spanish it's desafiar, defy, defy fear.
I love that. That is so powerful. And the fact that you already knew that, right? But you were kind of tackling that mindset head on and already recognizing rejection is redirection. I love that you said that. And that just means you're getting one step closer to finding your yes person. And I love that story that you shared where you approached that group of three women and now even just that short conversation led to someone that will probably be a part of your community for the rest of your life, right? And that's now going on these international retreats with you. And it's all of those little actions that you take that can make such a profound, lasting impact on the way that you lead your business and how your business grows. So that's so beautiful. What do you think has been your biggest contributing factors to all the success you've seen in these short few years?
There's three of them, and it's discipline, consistency, and coming from a place of adding value to truly want to help others.
Hmm.
And let's break them down, right? Like, what
Yeah.
does consistency mean? And it's a repetition of positive actions that reinforce your habits. And then the self-discipline is very attached to the consistency because it involves having control over the impulses to establish those good habits, and they feed off each other. So, for example, if I want to take my business to the next level, I need to be consistent and self-disciplined in the actions that I have to do every day to take it to that next level. But most of us get wrapped up in our feelings. We wait until we feel motivated. We wait until I feel good in order to do this. But if I would wait for that feeling to feel good or to feel motivated, I would have never done half of the things. Did I want to walk down that street and ask strangers if they wanted to join my events? Absolutely not. I did not. And do I want to do half of the things that I need to do, like waking up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym? No. Do I want to meditate? No. But I know these are things that are going to benefit me in the long run. Because if I want to run a marathon, I need to first set up a plan of how I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to first walk, then I'm going to jog, then I'm going to run. I'm not going to run the 24 miles in one day and be prepared for that marathon. So it's the same thing with consistency and discipline, doing that little thing every single day that's going to give you that exponential growth and that compound effect in the long run. But we just give up when it gets hard, or when we don't want to do it, we just give up and we're like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Mhm.
Do those things happen to me? Of course. Once in a while, I'm not going to follow through with what I needed to do, but the next day I wake up, okay, let's go. Let's pick up where we left off.
Mhm. You are full of so many amazing little nuggets that I just want to like pick at.
Pick them, pick them, pick them.
Especially what you said about like you can't just wait till you feel good, right? We can't live so reactively because then we're not the ones that are in control of our lives, right? We need to take control and be proactive about the things that we want and the things that we want to build and the people that we want to surround ourselves with. And the funny thing about that is even if you're not feeling like you're in the mood to go have that conversation with that other person, more often than not, well, for me at least, I can't speak for you, but for more often than not, for me, doing that, even if I wasn't feeling in the mood to do it afterwards, I'm always like re-energized. And then I do feel really good. Does that happen for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like, because you know the things that you need to do. Like, you know them. And self-procrastination is a way to self-sabotage. But
Mhm.
once you get over that, it's like, oh my God, I feel so good because I fucking did it. Oops.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Okay, cool. Because I did it, and and it's like you're proving yourself wrong and your mind wrong.
Okay, I know you're all well invested into this episode so far, but I wanted to just take a quick moment to tell you all about Cast Magic because this tool has been a lifesaver for me and the Empowered by Women podcast. And we don't like to gatekeep around here, okay? So if you also have a podcast, a YouTube channel, or really produce any kind of long form content, you really need to introduce Cast Magic into your life if you haven't already. It used to take me forever to find specific clips, create captions and titles and descriptions, and all the things that come with running a podcast, but Cast Magic has made that 10 times easier for me. And as a mom with a very busy schedule, I am all about simplifying and streamlining my to-do list. So seriously, save yourself some time and even multiply your usable content and download it ASAP. The link will be included in the show notes, but let's go ahead and get back to this awesome interview. Yeah.
So yeah, of course it feels really, really, really good. And even with this whole feeling thing, I just want to give one more example. Like, Feelings fluctuate so much in our lives.
Mhm.
And let's take a normal day. Let's say you wake up, you're a bit cranky. Then you have your coffee, you eat a good breakfast, and then by noon, you're feeling really good. But then you're done with work at 5, you're tired again, and you're a little bit irritable. So you see how everything fluctuates. So we can't go based off our feelings to do the things we need to do. We need to have the self-discipline and have the consistency to be like, I'm going to do this regardless if I'm tired or not, because it's what my business depends on.
Yeah. I want to dive into a little bit more on your consistency because I think this has been a recent conversation for me a lot lately is what does that consistency look like for certain people's lives? So when you talk about consistency, are you doing the same things every single day and that's what consistency looks like today? Like looks like for you, like I'm going to post every single day or I'm going to do this every single day at this certain time. What is that? What does consistency mean to you?
Consistency should have a different definition for everyone, and that depends on the goals that they want to attain in their business.
Mhm.
So, my suggestion would be, what goal do you want to attain in your business? Write it down and then write back how you're going to get there. For example, for me, I want to grow my Instagram account to 10,000 K followers. So, what do I need to do? How does consistency work into that plan? I need to post one video a day. So what does that mean? Consistency is going to mean that every Sunday, I'm going to sit down and make 7 videos for the upcoming week. And I'm going to post one every single day at 11 a.m. On Sunday, regardless of how I'm feeling, I'm going to do the videos. But then also, it's you also have to be smart about like how you're going to do your tasks. Like, am I going to do my videos at night when I'm more tired, or am I going to do them in the morning when I'm more energized and willing to do them? But the consistency has to come in the task that you want to accomplish. So for me, it's that 10K followers, one video a day, because I know if I post 20 videos in one day and don't post for another month, another 20, that's not how I'm going to get there.
Mhm. So you have a more like rigid structure that you're following, right? And
Correct.
I love that you have, that system in place where you're batching your videos. I think that's a great tip for people that are just getting started and they're like, how am I supposed to show up every single day? You don't necessarily have to show up every single day. You can have all of it done in one take and then divide that up into content that can last you a whole week or a whole month or whatever the case may be. So for those that are just getting started, what other advice do you have for them to really put themselves out there and start building their brands?
Don't be afraid to fail, because you will fail a million times, but that does not define who you are or your company's value. After every failure, do a reflective analysis of, what did this failure try to teach me? Write it down, work it into your company structure, and move forward with the new knowledge, because it's a mindset to reframe failure as a redirection as well, instead of a final outcome. And if you think about it, the most successful people are the ones that have failed the most. But the difference between them and the people that don't make it is that they don't give up. They're relentless in their pursuit of what they want. And I think one of the coolest examples is, I mean, there's a million of them. And this is like a really cool Google search in order to empower yourself if you're feeling disappointed or let down because you got a bad review, because you heard something negative. Google or buy an autobiography of people that have been really successful and look how they failed and how have they come back from that failure. But one that I want to share with you is Jerry Seinfeld. Before he was nothing, he was a young comedian, stand up, and on his first time on stage, he was booed off stage. So he had two choices: to just give up and accept that comedy wasn't his thing, or to return to that same stage the following night and redo it all over again. And he opted for the latter, and the rest is history. right? Because we all know who Jerry Seinfeld is and how successful he is.
Oh, so good.
So as business owners, we have that choice too. Are we going to be disheartened by our failures, by the negative reviews, by the critics, or
Mhm,
use them as a lesson to become a more valuable company?
mhm,
Because something that is priceless is experience, and
mhm,
failures bring you experience.
mhm. Right. We can't just expect ourselves to just know how to do everything right off the bat. We can't expect ourselves to be that expert in that industry the first time that we hit that stage or the first time that we do the podcast or whatever it is that we're doing. I couldn't agree more with what you said. Everything is a learning opportunity. And I love that you said that failure is not the outcome. It's another redirection. It's another way, another opportunity for you to reflect. And I think that kind of may be the missing piece that some people don't often take the opportunity for. They don't sit back and reflect on what they did, what their opportunities are to do better, and how they can take that and move forward with it. Instead, they're letting all of those external things decide for them what the next move is, when that's not the case at all.
Absolutely. And sometimes I think we get more caught up on the negative,
Mhm.
like that one negative review versus the 100 positive reviews that you've had.
100%. So this is a great segue into what it is that you do because you are all about mindfulness. So first of all, do you work with a lot of entrepreneurs in your community?
So this year was actually the year that I wanted to expand and open up and start doing more collaborations. So the whole year I've been doing collaborations with other events. But it's tricky for me because I want to empower other queer collaborators, and that's who I want to give my business to,
Mhm.
but it's also hard to find them. So I'm in that stretch of getting more involved and trying to find more collaborators, and the upcoming events that I have are all collaborations events, which I'm really happy because
I love
sometimes,
that.
you know, what you seek is seeking you. So it's an ongoing project, but yeah, I definitely want to collaborate with more people.
Ah, that's so good. That could be the whole episode. What you seek is seeking you. Everything you want already exists. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there and go find it, right? So talk to us about mindfulness. Like, what are the things that you teach, first of all? Like, how do you teach mindfulness?
So I think the first segue into mindfulness is meditation.
Mhm.
And there's a 45-day challenge that I do with people where we start meditating from day one, 5 minutes, and we end with 30 minutes at the end of the 45 days. Every Monday we meet, we try a new meditation every week. We talk about what struggles are they going through, what challenges are they going through their meditation. We learn about the impacts of the meditation in the brain. We learn how meditation helps with anxiety, depression, increased focus, just all the good stuff for meditation. And we also do meetups to go to this meditation space that I go to meditate. They come with me, they do Dharma talks, we meet up. So it's like a cool program in order to immerse yourself in to create a continuous practice in your life. And also at my events, because my company is like about mindfulness, connection, and community. My events are more about connecting with one another. We also do a meditation there, a sound bath, regulating our nervous system. I also try to add value, give them tips on how to connect with people truly and authentically versus that shallow level. The other collaborations that I've had that I'm going to have are like around mindfulness and money because we don't talk enough about money. I also did like a manifestation one, how to manifest what you want at the beginning of the year. So it's a lot of different personal growth avenues. It just really depends like what comes to me and what I think would be helpful for people at that moment.
Could you give us like a quick breakdown of the science behind meditation? Like, if you were to break it down into like one to two quick sentences of what does meditating actually do for your brain and your body that it's able to kind of change the way that you approach your day and approach life?
Yeah. So meditation literally changes your brain. It literally rewires your brain. And the more you meditate, the more it enhances your relationship with focus. Because if you think about it, technology nowadays has destroyed our focus, like
Mhm.
with Instagram, with social media. The more focused I am, the higher productivity I'm going to have. Not even that, like meditation increases mindfulness. What is mindfulness? It's the basic human ability to be fully present, aware of what's happening, and not being overly reactive or overwhelmed with what's going on around us. It's about learning how to accept the thoughts that are coming in and out without judging them, without believing them, just allowing them.
Mhm.
And that, oh my God, like reduces stress, it regulates our emotions, it can improve our creativity. And I think like the best way I can explain meditation in like an easy, digestible way is like think about the trash. You throw trash out every day at your house, right? What happens if you don't take that trash out? It starts to stink, it starts to rot. It's the same with our mind. Why are we not taking the trash out every day? We just let our thoughts continue to build, 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 build. And we're like, why am I so stressed? Why do I feel this way? Meditation is taking the trash out. It's like we go to the gym for our bodies. Why are we not going to the gym for our minds?
Ooh, so good. I love that analogy. I've never heard anyone phrase it that way, but that's the perfect way to like envision it and recognize it as something that you should be doing on a daily basis because you're right. All of those thoughts that we have, and I don't know what the number is, but it's something like ridiculous where it's like, what, tens of thousands?
70,000 thoughts, and 90%
70,000.
of them are negative.
Right. And we need to be very intentional about clearing that out, clearing that out of our systems. So how can you take that and incorporate it into the way that you operate your business? Can you give us some examples of how you bring mindfulness into your own work and what our listeners can do as well?
Absolutely. So, first, having a mindfulness practice, even if it's 10 minutes a day for you to sit down and just pause, close your eyes, focus on your breath, that would be amazing. Or 10-minute break in the morning, like before you begin or when you get to your office, like centering yourself, checking in with your body, even setting an intention for the day. Maybe at noon, do another check in with your body.
Mm.
And right before you leave, another check in to see, or maybe two, but it's more about pausing and connecting with yourself, with your body. Or maybe at noon after you eat, go for a mindfulness walk, which means you just pay attention to each step. No music, no phone, just literally walking and watching your body. Or on your lunch break, mindfulness eating, you slow down, no music, no phone, savor each bite, truly chew at least 20 chews. And it's just really grounding yourself, or just like having a gratitude journal in the morning and writing down, or mindfully using technology by setting boundaries. And once you start becoming more mindful, you know, it really starts to reduce your stress, and it really starts to regulate your emotions. And by cultivating emotional intelligence, it's going to come through your business with more resilience, with the way that you treat your employees, with having a different mindset under stress, under high pressure situations. Because as business owners, we do have a lot of stress. And when we're acting from a place of being stressed, we're not going to make the best decision.
Mhm.
And mindfulness, it's taking us back to being in a grounded place, in a regulated space where I'm acting from my core instead of being reactive from the stress, from the emotions that I'm feeling. So it even helps us with better decision making in our business. And it also increases our resilience and our adaptability, because when we sit down on that couch and we meditate, we're sitting with all the discomforts because we're not used to being still. We're not used to being at peace. And we're going to have the itch. We're going to have the anxiety of like, oh my God, I have so many things to do. Why am I sitting here not doing anything? Like I should be doing things. And your body's going to start to react. And it's sitting and being like, I'm not going to itch the itch. I'm not going to get up. I'm going to feel the anxiety. I'm going to let it go. And it helps you with managing discomfort,
Mhm.
which that happens with business. Throughout our day, we're going to have to find solutions to our problems, and the problems make us uncomfortable. So it's just a skill that's really going to transfer in not only your business, but in any area of your life.
Mhm. I really like the point of making it so approachable, right? Being mindful doesn't have to be this daunting task. And I love the examples that you gave where it's like, go on a mindful walk. You're not listening to music, you're just allowing yourself to notice your own body as you're walking, notice your surroundings. Even if you're eating, everyone has to eat. Use that time to be mindful and to be fully present. And I think a good thing is to reframe too. If you're sitting there and you are meditating, but you feel like I'm just doing nothing, like I'm just wasting my time when I have so many things on my to-do list, reframe it. Instead of thinking you're doing nothing, you are doing something. You are resetting your body. You are realigning with all of the things that you hope to be and all the things that you want to do. So going into that mindset of, no, this is not wasting time. This is actually allowing you to show up more and show up fuller. So
Can I add something to that? And I heard this podcast the other day by this psychiatrist that I love. I can't remember her name, but she was talking about how nowadays we are not bored enough. We're always busy with things.
Mhm.
And if we're not busy, we grab the phone to swipe, to go on Instagram. So our brains are actually on this high of dopamine all the time, and we need a higher dose, a higher fix. And we need to learn how to be bored. She even gives examples like go and people watch for 20 minutes. And I'm like, well, meditation's being bored. You sit there and you do nothing. And we need more of that to rewire our brain, to get off that addiction that we're in of being busy. And any successful business owner knows how to rest, period.
Mhm.
That they know how to rest. And I think that as starting business owners, we think that we have to do so much and that the more productive we are, the better we're going to be. And it's like, if you're not taking care of yourself and regulating yourself and resting, you're never going to get to that next level.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, everything. I just want to, I'm like, there's so many quotes that we can take out, throw it on a bumper sticker and call it a day.
We'll get sweaters after this podcast.
So good, so good. Alex, you just have so many valuable insights to share, and I can only imagine the impact that you make when you do these in-person events and these challenges and the international retreats that you're doing. I'm gonna have to, I don't, I don't, what is the word? I'm losing my words. I'm not technically part of the LGBTQIA plus community, but if you open it up to everyone else, I would love to be at one of your events. Where can everyone that's listening, that's tuning in today, find you, connect with you, join you at one of these beautiful events that you're creating?
Yes. So easiest way is LGBTQ mindfulness on Instagram. And these events are geared toward the queer community, but it's like the mindfulness money one that I'm going to do. Like if somebody that's not part of the community wants to go and learn about money, like more power to you. We welcome allies. We love people that love us. So absolutely. And I'm sure, down the line, I can see you doing retreats too for empowered women. So, we can always cross working relationships that way as well.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities. The opportunities are boundless. You never know.
Absolutely. So many opportunities, and we are just getting started, baby.
Yes.
We do not know what it's going to look like, but we know that it's going to be beautiful. So all those links are going to be in the show notes for anyone that's tuning in, and be sure to connect with Alex and all of the amazing things that she's putting together. Really quick, we have like a minute for you to answer this question. What does the future look like for you and your brands?
So I see myself focusing more on retreats, maybe doing 4 a year and having an actual retreat center somewhere outside the US. I'm not sure where yet. And doing events all over the US in the gayest cities of America.
I love that. Cheering you on. It is going to be amazing. I 100% see that happening for you. I can imagine this beautiful retreat space that you are going to build with this fabulous community around you. It is going to be a beautiful, and you have so much support. So I can't wait to see you bring that vision to life. Alex, you have been incredible. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me and having me be part of this community. Thank you.
Another incredible interview with yet another inspiring woman in entrepreneurship. I hope you guys loved that episode just as much as I did. But before we leave off, if you yourself are also a woman entrepreneur, I would love for you to consider joining our Empowered by Women directory. We're looking for women-owned product and service-based businesses in the US to help us build the go-to place for our communities to find local women to shop with and connect with, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. All of the details can be found on www.empoweredbywomen.com/apply-directory. Of course, that's going to be linked in the show notes below, and you're also welcome to reach out to me anytime if you have any questions. But other than that, thank you again so much for joining us, and I will see you in the next episode.